you're always going to remember where you were when you finished the first few, like you finished the last episode of Southern Charm season 1, and Kathryn and Thomas break up, and you're like, good, that's for the best. I'm
That's
glad.
how that was supposed to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it turns black and you hear a baby cry. And you go, what?
Oh, don't
I remember texting you.
I know. I remember like not saying anything and being like, you're just going to learn it on your own.
Was this the original Scandoval?
This was crazy. Like when that happened, like that was just, it was even better than Scandoval, quite frankly. Like it was earth-shattering. It was so massive because it's like literally like a child being brought into the world. Like,
well, that's just the thing with Southern Charm is what's funny is like when we were doing this, we're looking back and I'm like, I remember how I felt about people kind of, but like the really nice thing about Southern Charm is that like you feel differently about the characters almost every season. Like no one has a consistently good run, no one has a consistently bad run. And then I also like I don't remember like specific moments the way that you do in Vanderpump Rules, where you're like, you know, Jack's going to Vegas on Stassi's birthday and like Schwartz pouring a drink on her head and like the boys, like you don't remember those types of things.
Yeah.
But I just remember, you know, loving or hating people, and I remember that it was incredible. And then the main things that you pretty much remember is like these big life moments of Thomas and Kathryn's relationship,
because they were the drama of the show.
It really was. So as much as everyone like can give them shit, like I don't know if there would be a show without them.
Oh no. Like no, this would not have been picked up for another season if it had not been for them. Like that baby saved this show. Oh my god. Like, I know.
Well, you've been reading Kenzie like a bedtime story. And then you were born and the show continued.
And everything happened. Got picked up for another 8 seasons because of you. Yeah, well, and that's just it. Like, you don't, like, I always think of like Vanderpump Rules or even like Beverly Hills, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in like the eras, right? Like there's kind of like season 1 and 2, maybe season 3, season 4 and 5, like they're all kind of like sectioned kind of that way. And I guess you could do that for Southern Charm a little bit, but there's predictably things that kind of happen in each season of Southern Charm, or at least there was, right? There was always the Miss Pat kind of doing the boys' night dinner that with the guys, and they'd go to like a Hilton Head or a Nashville. They'd do like a group like, you know, trip somewhere. They'd go to the Keys, and then they'd kind of just like have dinners and they'd kind of like hang out and they'd just like socialize.
So many dinner parties at their houses.
Little backyard barbecues, going to different like delicious looking barbecue restaurants, like, you know, eating shrimp and just delicious stuff everywhere. So like really good food, but for the most part, like there isn't like massive things. It's just like the interconnected relationships with these people and how they all kind of like hang out and hook up and mess up and what happens next. And
like the drama is so real, like more than any other show. The drama, like you're literally talking about people like gaining and losing custody of their children. Like it's wild.
Yeah, it is. And it's not the like ostentatious kind of like wealth. Like there is obviously that with like, especially with like Patricia, and with Thomas, and you know, these people owning like plantations and stuff.
That was so money. Weird watching, and I'm like, we all just talk like we're just talking about their plantations. It's just normal. Okay.
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, so it's just but with all of that aside, the core parts of the story feel very normal, right? Like it is your friend group kind of like having these kind of like issues and like mistrusts and bringing up the drama and whatever. So good.
It is just such a good show. Like you have to get through season 1, which is confusing, and then it's just like, oh, it's so incredible.
But even then, season 1, like, it's not that bad. Of all the things that I've seen, like Southern Hospitality season 1, Southern Charm season 1,